All the sparrows on the rooftops are crying about the fact that the most imperialist nation that is supporting the colonial regime in the colonies is the United States of America. As of today, if I am asked abroad if I am a free citizen of the United States of America, I must only say what is true: no. Barack Obama was not born into wealth or privilege, yet today he is President of these United States of America. Barack Obama has lived the American dream. He has walked in our shoes. Columbus was above all an explorer, and his historic achievements opened the Americas to trade and the eventual English settlements. Settlements which grew into the most successful bastion of freedom and prosperity in human history, the United States of America. Donald Trump is a good man, and he will make a great president of the United States of America. Hamas, also elected to governmental leadership in Palestine, includes the jihadists, people who have declared war on the United States of America and its ally, Israel. Hillary Clinton is as qualified or more qualified than I am to be Vice President of the United States of America. Let's get that straight. She's a truly close personal friend. She is qualified to be President of the United States of America. She's easily qualified to be Vice President of the United States of America. I am a subject of the British Crown, but whenever I have to choose between the interests of England and Canada, it is manifest to me that the interests of my country are identical with those of the United States of America. I am Al Gore, and I used to be the next President of the United States of America. I am mortified to be told that, in the United States of America, the sale of a book can become a subject of inquiry, and of criminal inquiry too. I am not naive, and I do realize that racism is alive and well in the United States of America. I am also fully aware that when segregation ended, we didn't all live happily ever after. No one can convince me, however, that life in America would be better if blacks and whites had stayed separate and unequal. I am often asked if, when I was secretary, I had problems with foreign men. That is not who I had problems with, because I arrived in a very large plane that said United States of America. I had more problems with the men in our own government. I am passionately interested in understanding how my country works. And if you want to know about this thing called the United States of America, you have to know about the Civil War. I can die a happy man never having been President of the United States of America. But it doesn't mean I won't run. I can say with confidence there has never been a man or a woman, not me, not Bill, nobody, more qualified than Hillary Clinton to serve as President of the United States of America. I cannot wait to see the day that one day we will have a chef that will become the Secretary of Food of the United States of America. I knew I was the second best tennis player in the state of Florida and no. 8 in the United States of America when I was 12 years old, and I couldn't tell you what I was in baseball, but I liked my chances in tennis of getting a scholarship to college. I mean, people need to remember without the grassroots, Ronald Reagan probably doesn't become President of the United States of America, and he worked the grassroots on a regular basis during his political career, and especially between the years of 1976 and 1980 after the loss in Kansas City. I ran away from home. I ran away from St. Louis, and then I ran away from the United States of America, because of that terror of discrimination, that horrible beast which paralyzes one's very soul and body. I think that every minority in the United States of America knows everything about the dominant culture. From the time you can think, you are bombarded with images from TV, film, magazines, newspapers. I think the Justice Department needs to be the final protector of the people of the United States of America. I think we all share the same goal, which is a United States of America that inspires people and leads. I was born in Europe, and I've traveled all over the world. I can tell you that there is no place, no country, that is more compassionate, more generous, more accepting, and more welcoming than the United States of America. I was in New York on September 11th when those planes hit the World Trade Center. At the time, it seemed like it was a local thing. But 3 or 4 days later, by the time we drove across the country in the bus, we realized it wasn't a local thing. You could really feel the states become united. We became the United States of America. If anybody ran a business like that, they would be out of business quickly, and Barack Obama's leadership is driving this business, the United States of America, toward a fiscal cliff. If female were working in the same proportion as men do, the level of GDP would be up 27% in a country like India, but also up 9% in Japan and up 5% in the United States of America. It's not just a moral issue, not just a philosophical issue. It just makes economic sense. If the United States of America or Britain is having elections, they don't ask for observers from Africa or from Asia. But when we have elections, they want observers. If there is a country that has committed unspeakable atrocities in the world, it is the United States of America. Imagine a political system so radical as to promise to move more of the poorest 20% of the population into the richest 20% than remain in the poorest bracket within the decade? You don't need to imagine it. It's called the United States of America. In known history, nobody has had such capacity for altering the universe than the people of the United States of America. And nobody has gone about it in such an aggressive way. In 10 years I will become President of the United States of America. It's overwhelmingly in the self-interest of the United States of America to have a secure, democratic friend, a strategic partner like Israel. Let me even say, before I even get inaugurated, during the transition we are going to be having meetings all across the country with community organizations so that you have input into the agenda for the next presidency of the United States of America. Let's teach kids, at the kindergarten level, what the contributions of people of color were to building the United States of America. Most of the ancestors that I can trace were born here in the United States of America. And then it goes back to slavery. And I'm sure my ancestors go all the way back to Africa, but I feel more of an affinity for America than I do for Africa. I'm a black man in America. My grandma always had two gods, Jesus Christ and the United States of America. I was no different, and neither was anyone else I knew. No nation, savage or civilized, save only the United States of America, has confessed its inability to protect its women save by hanging, shooting, and burning alleged offenders. Now you have a choice. We can give more tax breaks to corporations that ship jobs overseas, or we can start rewarding companies that open new plants and train new workers and create new jobs here, in the United States of America. Oceans are one of the most important things in the world now, and that is a national security threat of the United States of America, to be honest with you. That is why seeing the habitat destroyed is so short-sighted by us. Our country, the United States of America, may be the world's largest economy and the world's only superpower, but we stretch ourselves dangerously thin by taking on commitments like Iraq with only a motley band of allies to share the burden. Our strength as a nation comes in our unity. We are the United States of America, not the divided states. And those who want to divide us are trying to divide us, and we shouldn't let them do it. President Roosevelt's leadership put the world on notice that the United States of America, with the freest, most dynamic economy the world had ever seen, was open for business. Someday, following the example of the United States of America, there will be a United States of Europe. The FBI's counterintelligence program would work hand in hand with police departments, literally planning attacks on Black Panther Party offices throughout the United States of America. They did this over a period of time. The first condition of success for the League of Nations is, therefore, a firm understanding between the British Empire and the United States of America and France and Italy that there will be no competitive building up of fleets or armies between them. The most sacred duty of the President of the United States of America is to defend and protect the Constitution and the principles it enshrines: freedom, fairness, and equality. The Russian Federation and the United States of America, the two biggest nuclear powers in the world, but apart from nuclear-wise, we have a lot in common. We have huge territories, natural resources, technologies, science, education, and of course human capital. The United States of America has been great because it has been free. The United States of America will never be intimidated by thugs and assassins. The killers will fail, and the Iraqi people will live in freedom. There are patriots who opposed the war in Iraq and there are patriots who supported the war in Iraq. We are one people, all of us pledging allegiance to the Stars and Stripes, all of us defending the United States of America. There is a mutual interest between Israel and the United States of America. It is more than friendship, it is friendship plus mutual interest, and it is bipartisan. There is a Providence that protects idiots, drunkards, children and the United States of America. There is not a liberal America and a conservative America, there is the United States of America. There is not a black America and a white America and Latino America and Asian America, there's the United States of America. There is nothing here that's broken that can't be fixed, but it won't happen on its own. It's going to require a huge lift by the entire country of the United States of America and people on the ground taking personal responsibility for themselves. You cannot take it as a fait accompli that the city's going to come back. There's not a liberal America and a conservative America, there's the United States of America. This is not a battle between the United States of America and terrorism, but between the free and democratic world and terrorism. Too small is our world to allow discrimination, bigotry, and intolerance to thrive in any corner of it, let alone in the United States of America. We are not race blind. Of course, we still have racial tensions in this country. But the United States of America has made enormous progress in race relations, and it is still the best place on earth to be a minority. Yesterday, December 7, 1941, a date which will live in infamy, the United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. We will gain the inevitable triumph, so help us God. You can't separate the phenomenal birth of unionism in the United States of America from the Pullman Porters. This same small group of men, who grew to be 10,000 strong, was also the organizational foundation for the civil rights movement and all of the gains that were made in the 40s and the 50s. That, and the black church.